What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to another video. Not very good news about the Kyle Larson situation I wanted to discuss here. Unfortunately, Kyle Larson has been fired from Chip Ganassi Racing. Yes, as I've actually uploaded my video today, about 20 minutes ago, it was announced that Kyle Larson has been fired from Chip Ganassi Racing. So that's not very good. So I'm going to right now read the statement from Chip Ganassi Racing to you guys. Let's just get into the statement. Here's the statement. After much consideration, Chip Ganassi Racing has determined that it will end its relationship with driver Kyle Larson. As we said before, the comments that Kyle made were both offensive and unacceptable, especially given the values of our organization. As we continue to evaluate the situation all the relevant parties, it became obvious that this was the only appropriate course of action to take. As you heard there, he's gone. Kyle Larson is no longer going to be at the organization. And it is a great shame because Kyle Larson had a lot of talent. He had a bright future ahead, possibly with Chip Ganassi Racing, and it's over because of what he said on the Twitch live stream on Sunday night. With every live stream who was live streaming that event heard what he said, and now a lot of people are really upset. And Kyle Larson's career is probably over unless he goes to SHR, but that's pretty unlikely. And I think the biggest reason that Chip Ganassi is firing Kyle Larson to begin with is because all the sponsors have basically jumped ship from Kyle Larson, except Plan B Sales. I think there was another one that said they were not jumping ship with them. But Clover jumped ship. They're not sponsoring him. Credit One Bank is no longer sponsoring him. Advent Health is no longer sponsoring him. And McDonald's is no longer sponsoring him. But those organizations are still going to be sponsoring Chip Ganassi. So they can get a driver now if they want to. And this is going to take Kyle Larson out of the running for the 48 as well because he's no longer in the Chevy brand after he got parted ways with Chevy after all this stuff. And I just want to say this with this whole situation. The last 40 hours for Kyle Larson have probably been the worst 48 hours of Kyle Larson's career. He went from being a guy who was probably at the top of the free agency market for 2021 and looking like he was going to be a future star in the sport to now probably going to be unemployed in NASCAR and probably no longer in the sport. I mean, Chip Ganassi Racing was not going to fire Kyle Larson originally. They were probably going to keep him in there, but he was not going to get paid. But after all the sponsors basically jumped ship and they decided, hey, we just had to take best course action because it looked like they weren't going to fire him, but because of this, man, cancel culture is definitely a thing for sure. That's what it is, folks. But Kyle Larson knows better. Clearly knew better for what he said. I mean, you should know better not to say words like that. And Kyle Larson is facing the consequences for this. And his career, like I just said, could probably be over now because he wanted to open his mouth and, he's probably said the word in the past. I don't think this is the first time Kyle Larson has said that word. But I think that, like I said, Kyle Larson deserves a second chance. I know people are not going to give Kyle Larson a second chance. I think a lot of you have probably heard me say that multiple times throughout the last couple of videos on the Kyle Larson situation. But I do think Kyle Larson ultimately does deserve a second chance in life and racing in general. I don't think this should end his career completely. I think that a lot of these sponsors did jump the gun and jump ship, but I did saw it coming. And I think that Chip Ganassi had no choice after he lost $30 million worth of sponsorships to say we're no longer going to sponsor Kyle Larson, that they were going to have to go. So what is the case now for Chip Ganassi because of this situation? Well, they have a couple options. One, well, they're going to have to run the 42 that once we do go back to racing because Kyle Larson is no longer in that 42 if they want to keep that charter for the number 42 car. So their best option, I think, to go with is to ask Roush to let Ross run the 42. Now, very interesting thing to note, Ross Chastain has ran all the races up to this point. So Ross Chastain could do what he did like last year, could jump from the Xfinity Series up to the Cup Series. It's not been a very good season for him in the Xfinity Series up to this point, and he was going to go to the 42 regardless of the situation, because Kyle Larson was going to be out of that team at the end of this year regardless of this happened or not. But Ross Chastain, I think, is a very talented driver. I think he honestly does deserve to drive the number 42 car, in my opinion. I do believe that announcement will be coming in the next coming days. I think that has to come sooner or later, so we're going to have to find out who's going to drive 42. Other than that, I don't know another driver that could drive the 42 car, to be honest with you. So I don't know, think there's another driver in that development program because Ross Chastain is the only one, as far as I'm concerned, that has a relationship with Chip Ganassi Racing. Unless, of course, Chip Ganassi wanted to like bring Scott Dixon or Marcus Ericsson from the IndyCar series, but that's pretty unlikely. So yeah, probably it's going to be Ross Chastain taking over the 42. As a Kyle Larson fan, man, I'm still disappointed in Kyle Larson, but I forgave him for the apology because he did apologize, and I think he did a good job there. But man, the last 24 hours for Kyle Larson have been the worst of his career. But I mean, we saw it coming. I mean, you can't say things like that. We're in the climate. I know the one word is shouldn't completely ruin a guy's life. I think this has basically ruined Kyle Larson's career. I mean, the guy is not going to get signed on to another team. He's probably out of NASCAR completely. Don't expect Kyle Larson to be racing anymore in the Cup. So I don't think he'll ever get unfortunately, I don't think he'll get a second chance. I hope he gets a second chance. That's up to for teams to decide if they want to be like, okay, we'll give this guy a second chance. But if he gets a second chance, he has to go through this program if he does get to come back racing anytime soon. I just think his career is done for. It's a shame because it's a great driver who had a lot of talent and a lot of possibilities to make it to the top of this league. But Kyle Larson just ruined his career by saying something he knows better not to say. And man, I still can't believe it. And it is a shame because the guy is talented. He's done some stupid stuff. I'm hoping with the sensitivity training that he does go through, that hopefully this will wake him up and realize, okay, he's better than this. I think that drivers need to show their personality because he does show that Kyle Larson does have personality. But at the same time, him showing his personality has basically ruined this guy's career and this guy's livelihood, and it's probably ruined his family's livelihood too because they're not going to be really making any money anymore. Because what is Kyle Larson going to do? And he's lost his career. I mean, his career is probably over, and it's a really great shame because the guy has so much potential and so much talent to become the next greatest driver in NASCAR history, and he ruined it by saying a word he knows better not to say. So yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I want to thank you guys for watching today's video. Please like and subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on so you get notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on all my social medias, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Links in the description below for that. And comment on your thoughts on today's video. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video, and I will see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.